Here we go. Puzzle 2.
I just want respite, to fall into the blissful void, to wake up rested, my mind restored. I can't spend another night in there. This vision that plagues me, this illness that invades me each night. I can't keep going like this. The exercise the doctor gave me, the Glasswick technique, it's supposed to put me back in control. I've tried everything else. This has to work. There's no use fighting it anymore. I can already feel myself drifting off. All I can hope for is that tonight will be different. It's time to go to sleep. It's time to go to sleep.
Okay. And we have 3 fragments. I'm going to start with the pocket watch. And we have 3, 8. You know what? I'm gonna start calling by object name. We're gonna start with the first and foremost puzzle.
As I struggled in the crowd, I watched my shadow race out from under my feet after the green light. A prim and mustached man spoke up beside me. "Lost your shadow, I see. Fear not, I shall find it." He cocked a brow and set off in the same direction. I pushed through the throngs of people, doing my best to keep up.
Okay, we have a magazine ad, a picture of a man and a woman, another man, a pipe, and 22-1B. The narrator first collection of 12. It is in fact not the sleuth himself. Okay, a pipe in 201B kind of points me to Sherlock Holmes. And the hint, if Sherlock Holmes isn't the narrator himself, the only person it could be is Watson. Or Dr. Watson. Yay, English. So let's see, we got W. We have 4 little points. So is it Doctor first? Or is it W A C W C A? Let's try it. W A T S O N. And we're going to the middle fragment.
I was lost in a crowd. Thousands of people were aflutter around me. Many had congregated on a dock, looking off at something in the distance, speaking in languages I could not understand. As I joined them, I saw a huge bronze woman holding a torch. Suddenly, a green speck flashed across my vision. I had never seen anything like it.
Hi. So this first picture right here is definitely Ellis Island. This is a boat full of immigrants. This is ailments or illnesses that immigrants have to go through before they went through Ellis Island. So a sorry for you, the island symbolized only tears and heartbreak. And of course, the bronze statue that Jocelyn is talking about is the Statue of Liberty. But so a sorry for you, the island symbolized only tears and heartbreak. The island could be Ellis Island. Ellis. Oh wait, how to spell Ellis? Huh? And the final fragment, I guess.
The sleuth led me to a man sleeping against a tree. The green light, which I could now see to be a fairy, was buzzing about a book clutched in the sleeping man's hands. My shadow stood watching, dazzled by the spectacle. The sleuth revealed his logic. The man's rainbowed collection of stories tended to attract many an irksome creature. Startled by his voice, the fairy abandoned the book and we watched it flutter back towards the docks. I turned to face the sleeper, only to see my shadow boarding a train car behind him. I leapt onto the train as the doors closed behind me.
So we have bronze, 12, question mark. Red, blue, green, fairy. She mentioned books. So is there like a fairy books? Fairy books. Yeah, internet connection. I have to go out and buy a modem. Oh, pull up my phone, cause that works too. Let's see, Chrome. The only bad thing about this, I can't really show you my search results. Let's see. Fairy books. Oh, okay. Andrew Lang, fairy books. There's the blue fairy book and the green fairy book. What is the green fairy book about? That's the one we're looking for. Turn off my Wi-Fi on my phone. Green fairy book. Okay. What is in the green fairy book? Is there a wiki page for it? Okay, there is. There's, okay, the Lang storybooks are a series of 25 collections. Alright, so let's see, red. Okay, red. We have 12, okay. So it seems like the first story. And the green may be the bluebird. Since it's the first 5 little points. Right. So, what do these all have in connection to each other? The first edition is 1892, I'm pretty sure. Let's go to Ellis Island. Wait. First edition. Ellis Island. Okay, wait. Ellis Island up in New York Bay. It's a gateway of over 12 million immigrants to the United States, as the United States faces immigrant speculation for about 26 years, from 1892 until 1951. Interesting. Did you know Ellis Island burned down the first time and it was rebuilt? Pretty neat. So I'm going to assume it's 1892. have a 92 somewhere in here. Why do I see 2 3s? There's 3 points. So let's see. Do they want 18? Oh, 18. Where's the 9? 18, 9, 2. And we have new content in the artifact. So we're gonna move on down to the cactus. And we're gonna start at the upper left.
Looking outside, I saw that the sea of immigrants had given way to an ocean of amber wheat as the train surged forward. From beneath great piles of hay, a gravely voice rumbled, "Welcome to America's Kansas." Not sure if there's another, but this is America's. Tentatively, I asked, "Where does this train go, sir?" He rose from the hay and revealed himself as a mighty and regal lion. "Why," he said, "only to the best damn resort town west of the Rockies."
Okay. I'm horrible with states. This is Oklahoma, Texas. This is Arizona. No, wait. This is Arizona. I think it's Arizona. So this might be New Mexico. I think this is Kansas? Anyway, we got a train. Then we got this guy. This would be a very good time to use a program like Photoshop, Paint, GIMP to take a screenshot of your either this app, well, your desktop, throw it into Paint, Photoshop, or GIMP, crop it out, and crop this face out, save it, and throw it into Google Images. But I'm lazy and I'm not going to do that, so I could use the hints. That's always an option too. But I don't want to use hints because I'm lazy too. Well, also. So a long lost line. A train. Long lost train line. Long lost train line. Oh. Excuse me. Excuse me again. So we have the Kansas Pacific Railway. Let's check it out. We may have got somewhere. I don't think the right place. We may have got somewhere. She mentioned a lion. Let's see, Control F. Lion. Nope. Let's see. We have the Union Pacific, the last spike, construction. I don't think you're gonna show me anything because internet is being crappy. Expansion. Business standards. Harriman 1920s. I wonder if I search the train number. Train. What is it? 924? So I went to this one. So Atchison, Topeka, Santa Fe Railway was one of the larger railroads in the United States, chartered in February 1859, and the railroad reached Kansas-Colorado border, Pueblo, Colorado. The road officially ceased operation December 31st, 1996, and merged the Burlington Northern Railroad to form the Burlington Northern and Santa Fe Railway. Was there a lion? There was a lion. So this is Cyrus K. Halliday, first president of the AT&SF. So let's see. Sigil. Great acronyms. A T S F. '22 South Raven Avenue. And we're gonna move to the middlemost fragment.
I was let off the train at the last stop, and was surprised to see a noon sun on an empty street. The whole town appeared to be deserted, with the exception of a flock of green parrots gathered on an increasing number of buildings. Their black eyes tracked my every step, and they seemed to mumble and whisper. The shadow of a bridge darkened the street ahead of me. My stomach knotted, and I was filled with an overwhelming sense of dread as I gazed up into the eyes of a great bird perched on the railing of the bridge.
Above their beak and eyes lies this colored prize. So these birds' habitats are Mexico, South Texas, Northern Mexico, and I guess the southern westish part of California. We have these green birds. Not too many parrots are native to Texas, so parrots native to Texas, southern Texas. I mean, I can't imagine any parrots being native to Texas. Red crown parrots. So they're called muck parrots too. Invasive. Yeah, so it is apparently native. So red crown parrots. 4 points. Let's see. You have Ed. Where's R? We have red. Okay. So here's C, CR, ON, I mean OW, N. Simpson's garden landed in bird form. In the third lower fragment,
I felt drawn to the ominous bird. Once I joined it at the edge of the bridge, the bird began speaking with 3 distinct female voices. First, she asked who I was, a question I had no answer to. I felt incomplete, as if my existence were a word on the tip of my tongue. She asked me where I was, a challenge hidden in her voice. A dream, I said with false conviction. I could hear her beak clicking in disappointment. The bird asked me if I could fly, and suddenly I was thrown over the railing. Turning in the air, shocked, I saw my shadow peering down at me. There was no dark bird. I took a breath.
To be very blunt, this is suicide and death. Because this is the Hangman, which is a tarot card. It doesn't really mean anything bad in its alignment. This is a gun, dead end, and a suicide bridge. So let's see. I think either the bridge might be important, but all of this equals suicide or overall death. So let's see. We have SUIC. Founded suicide. Suicide. Colorado Street Bridge. So these things have something in common. What is it? Colorado Street Bridge. Pasadena. Okay, it is a suicide bridge. Okay. So let's go to Simpson's Garden Land and Bird Farm. Pasadena is recurring. And 22 South Raymond Avenue. Pasadena is another recurring. So PASA. Okay. PASA. D. Where's nah? Nah. No, I clicked the wrong thing. PASA. Nah. In our last fragment. Oh, I'm sorry. Object. I got them correct now. Object is a faded picture. And the first one is...
I lay back by the edge of the pool to catch my breath as water dripped off of me onto the tiles. I was no longer hysterical, but troubled by how close I had come to the unfathomable darkness. I blinked, and a deathly pale female face broke the surface of the water. The drowned woman spoke. I don't think two people could have been happier till this terrible disease came. I can't fight any longer. Her face dipped back below the surface and passed into the dark, but was quickly replaced by another figure. My shadow emerged from the depths. In the blue light of the moon, it seemed taller and menacing. I fled.
Okay. The first picture is Virginia Woolf. She was a writer, pretty famous. She also committed suicide. I have no idea why. It was just a very Interesting little tidbit. And she did write a suicide letter, which is this. And she was a part of this literary group called the Bloomsbury Group. I don't know too much about this, so. But with everything gone, only certainty remained. Back to the waking world. Type in Virginia. Virginia Woolf. She was an English writer considered one of the most important modernist 21st century authors and a pioneer in the use of a stream of consciousness as a narrative device. And she also ties in back into the first object. She was born to an affluent household in South Kensington, which, you know, Peter Pan was donated, well, conceived there, we'll say. Let's see, and we're looking for, she was the Bloomsbury Group. She married Leonard Wolf, but we want death. Dearest, I feel certain we're in a good spot that I'm going mad again. I feel we won't go through another of those terrible times. And I shan't recover this time. I begin to hear voices and I cannot concentrate. So I'm doing what seems to be the best thing to do. You give me the greatest possible happiness. And you have been in every way all that anyone could be. I don't think two people could have been happier till this terrible disease came. I can't fight it any longer. I know that I am spoiling your life, that without me, you could work, and you will I know. I see that I can't even write this properly. I can't read. What I want to say is I owe all the happiness of my life to you. You have been entirely patient with me and incredibly good. I want to say that everybody knows it. If anybody could have saved me, it could have been you. Everything has gone from me but the certainty of your goodness. I can't go on spoiling your life any longer. I don't think two people could have been happier than we have been. D. So, let's see, there was a phrase with everything gone. Everything has gone from me with the certainty of your goodness. So, could it be goodness or could it be happiness? Sigil? G. Minus 5. D. S. Into our second fragment.
As the water crashed over me, I sensed a change. It was night, and above, a bright full moon hung dangerously low, as if to consume me. I panicked, I flailed, I fought against the darkness below me. The thrust of my legs propelled me closer to the surface, but something was dragging me down. I burst, gasping through the surface of what appeared to be a swimming pool, but my legs wouldn't stop kicking. Attached to them were a series of wires and adhesive pads, triggering the muscles to kick. I ripped them off, and they sank.
Alright, this is our biggest clue. Danger, high voltage. We're dealing with something with electricity. What does symbol A represent in this device? This circle with the wave in it means AC current. That's not a part of A too much. The box with the humps, the double line, and this, and maybe part of this, is what we're looking for. The humps are known as inductors. I do not know what this means, but I do know this is a ground. So we're just gonna search up, let's see, electrical schematic symbols. Hey, look at that, Google, know me too well. This may be good, maybe. Thick ground. So maybe B is a capacitor? We got little squiggly inductors. AC voltage. And we have something very similar. A transformer. It's not exactly right. It's missing the little brackets with the circles at the top. But the thing it does have in common is the inductor with the capacitor in the middle. I think there's a capacitor. So, let's see. Where is it? Let's try it. Sigil. See R A N T R A S F. Is it O R? O R Mer. And a third for this fragment.
Desperate fear, not valor, surged into me as light bled and faded from the entire room. My shadow threw the odd doctor to the floor in front of me. She screamed like a banshee and dove towards me. I flailed for something, anything to help me. My left hand landed in the unlit fire, only to feel the intense heat as it roared to life. I grasped a red-hot coal in my fist. The pain was exhilarating, and I sobbed as my fist and the coal passed into my shadow's chest. She fell over, smoldering slowly from the hole I left. I watched orange fire consume my vision, and then I woke.
We have some flowers, a magician covering somebody, a woman, with a veil and a sculpture. Both he and his brother wear a crown of poppies, yet its effects will sooner leave your body. I'm going to assume this is a hypnotist. In Greek myth, there are a set of twins, both brothers. One is called Hypnos, and the other one is called Thanatos. Hypnos is the deity of sleep, and Thanatos is the deity of death. I think their mother is Kyr, which is a personification of night. So that means they wouldn't be deities per se. They'd be more personifications. Maybe. I'm unsure. I should go check. But I will. Hypnos. Hypnos. Oh, I thought it was Nyx or Kyr. Apparently it's Nyx. Oh, but his sibling is Kyr. Neat. So, Sigil. Hypnos. H-Y P-E-N-O-S. And our fourth and final fragment.
I rushed down a hallway towards two large wooden doors, but I felt my shadow fly towards me across the old walls in the dim light. I burst into a room filled with shelves upon shelves of books, an unlit fireplace and a large leather chair, on which sat a bearded man with dark eyes and skin the texture of an old photo. He stood and returned to my stare. Something about his eyes made me crash forward, drowsy. My shadow soared over me to attack the strange man.
So our first picture is a amputee, and this dapper fellow here. It'd be very good if I just copy, paste, and save in Paint. Threw it up in Google image search. Call it a day. But not doing it. And at the third image is a hand, an amputated hand. Oh, this is a mirror, and the reflection of this hand. And we have an ad for the Phantom of the Opera. He was the first to coin the medical term. So I'm going to assume he is this guy right here. So let's see. Phantom limb. Phantom limb. Wait. First, that's Feist. First to coin Phantom limb. Let's see, the term phantom limb was first coined by American neurologist Sir Silas Ver Mitchell. So sigil. Do they want Silas or Mitchell? I see double L. Where's MI? Here we go. MI. Where's TC? Oh wait, I need the, yeah, that's right, TC. HE double L. So we have threads. Sir George Henry Savage retards muscle atrophy, physical inactivity in neurasthenia. Alright, so let's go up to Silas Ver Mitchell. Okay, Silas. Okay, he became a specialist in neurology. Seems about right. He did electric therapy. Oh wait. Neurasthenia. The treatment consisted of primarily in isolation and confinement to bed, dieting, electric therapy, and massage. Okay. So neurasthenia. Where's an alienist? Ah. Huh. The condition is explained as being a result of exhaustion of the central nervous system energy reserves, which Beard attribute to modern civilization. Physicians in the Beard school of thought associated neurasthenia with the stresses of urbanization and with the stresses in which stress suffered as a result of increasingly competitive fitness environment. Typically, it was associated with the upper class people and with professionals working in sedentary occupations, but really can apply to anyone who lives within the monetary system. Okay. Freud, I think that's how you say it, include a variety of physical symptoms in his category, including fatigue. I have no idea how to say this. Deception? Indigestion with flatulence and indications of intracranial pressure, which is and spinal irritation, basically nerves. In common with some other people at the time, people either conditioned due to a non-completed coitus or the non-completion of higher cultural correlate thereof, or two, infrequency of emissions. So low libido, or the infrequent practice of higher cultural correlate thereof. Later, Freud formulated that in causes of coitus interruptus, as well as on a case of masturbation, there was an insignificant, I don't even can't say the word, libidinal discharge that had a poison effect on the organism. In other words, neurasthenia was a result of auto-intoxication. What? Eventually, he separated from anxiety neurosis, though he believed that a combination of the two conditions existed in many cases. Okay, Virginia Woolf. Rescuers. So is rescue the answer? Because if you're lying in bed all day, it does retard your muscle growth or whatever. It basically erodes the muscle because you're not doing anything, and you're in bed because you're not getting any physical activity, which it correlates to your muscles degrading, and that's why you get electrical therapy to keep them exercise. So, is it bed rest? B. Or is it, I see Can't see. R-E-S-T. C.
My dearest, we all need one another, much and often. Just as every human creature needs a place to be alone in, a sacred private home of his own, so all human creatures need a place to be together in. From the two who can show each other their souls interruptedly, to the largest throng that can throb and stir together in unison. This is our place together. You must now find your home.
So, Charlotte Perkins Gilman, I'm going to assume, was tormenting Jocelyn? So how is she related? Charlotte. That's for Charlotte Perkins. Oh yeah, Perkins. Nobody? Gilman. She wrote the yellow wallpaper, which was, she also had the rescuer. Is she alive during the same time as Virginia Woolf? She had postpartum depression. Let's Control F. Oof, no. So, rescue treatment. Gilman married Charles Stetson in 1884, and less than a year gave birth to her daughter Catherine, and that gave her postpartum depression. She wrote in her diary that she was sick with some brain disease, which brought suffering that cannot be felt by anybody to the point that her mind has given away. To begin, the patient could not even leave the bed. Okay, yep. After 9 weeks, Gilman was sent home with Mitchell's instructions. Live as a domestic life as possible. Have your child with you all the time. Lie down an hour each meal, but 2 hours intellectual life a day. And never touch pen, brush, or pencil as long as you live. She tried to follow Mitchell's advice, but depression deepened. Said it didn't do anything. Her remaining symptoms on the line, she began to display suicidal behavior that involved talk of pistols and chloroform. As she recorded her husband's diaries. By early summer, the couple had decided that a divorce was necessary to begin to regain their sanity without afflicting the lives of others. During the summer of 1888, Charlotte and Catherine spent time in Bristol, Rhode Island, away from Walter. Wow, her husband gave her depression. She writes of herself noticing positive changes in her attitude. She returned to Providence in September. She sold the property that had been left to her in Connecticut and went with a friend, Grace Channing, to Pasadena, where the cure for depression can be seen throughout the transformation of her intellectual life. Wow. Hey, the depression. The cure for depression, don't get married. Interesting. So we complete all the objects. And we're gonna go back to the artifact. And we have a bunch of unlocks. We're gonna start right here, because this one, right here, is the start of puzzle 3. Oh. Okay. We have Oak Valley Sleep Center. This is an overview from Dr. Martha Collywood, a parasomnia specialist for Jocelyn Walpole. Let's see. Cognition. She's tired, behavior's tired, flat. I don't know what WNL means, but she's been okay. Yeah, she's obsessed with her shadow. It's related to the Jungian shadow. Fear of hatred. I can look that up. Using the glass weak technique. She's not a danger to herself. But her nightmares are not, they're holding her back. She's not getting enough sleep. And she's on midazolam. Might be real, might not be. Right. We have another diagnosis, which also opened up something else. Nothing loaded up yet. Sleep is the best meditation. Speak to me, Dalai Lama. Oh no, the image broke. We'll be back. And this opens up another silk note. We have 2 more thingies. Alright, our third silk note. She's unkempt, speech, pressured, mood, anxious, depressed, defense, behavior, defensive, scattered, regressing. Looks like somebody needs to rescue her. So it seems like she channeled Virginia Woolf and Charlotte Perkins Gilman, because she's taking on their suicidal tendencies in their behavior. Yeah, remember that feels like loading up.
A card has been revealed to you. The meaning of the card may be important in the waking world.
Obsession. Flip back. Right. This is also a very good point where paint, Photoshop again will come in handy. But she had an obsession with her shadow self. If you read the Martha's diagnosis of Jocelyn. So, Dark Fear infects her hidden aspect, which means her shadow self. So, SHAD OW. Where are you, OW? Whoop. In this one, private network. Entries from the center's partner as dreams get darker. Alright, so who is Oak Valley's partner? Since. Let's see, it says private network. Okay. So let's see, internet. I don't think it's gonna take us anywhere. Okay, that's protected. Let's go with team. Oh, look at all these lovely doctors. Look at Martha, looking adorable. Support staff. Okay, this is, I think this is the image we need. That's not loading because, let's see if image is in here. Patient continues for insomnias. Implementations. Yeah, I kinda need this image. If I get it this way. Because if I can. Entries from the center's partner as the dreams get darker. Let's see. So come back. Oh. Alright. Alright. Past experience. This ties into the Black Watchman. And I think, let's see if it mentions it in here. Estonia. That's too much. Too much. Too much. Let's see. Rosenberg. Here we go. Rosenberg Clinic. I'm going to show you why this ties in. Are you serious right now? Proceed. Alright, let's see, where's that image? Where is it? Let's see if we can get to show up. I cannot. But properties, resource. I need the, let's see, background. It's an image. What? Come back. What are you doing? Not doing what I want you to do, that's what. Is it carousel? Is it this? Nope, that's the logo. Let's see if I can get it to refresh. And get it to display rightly or correctly. What if not? Let's see. What's the logo? I know it's a background. There. There she is. Yeah. Hello. Thanks. So Rosenberg. Or somebody else. R-O Sin B-E-R-G. And this opens up something. Oh. Something else for if you'll load, because internet connection does not want to work correctly tonight. Oh, it's a letter. End of treatment notice for Jocelyn Wobble. After today, I will not administer any medical service to the Oak Valley Sleep Disorder Center's patient Jocelyn Wobble. It's become clear to me that her current treatment plan is ineffective and has adverse effects on her health. There has been a breakdown of trust in the doctor-patient relationship between myself and Miss Walpole, making it difficult to me to provide quality care for her. Miss Walpole's physical and mental health has deteriorated significantly since starting treatment, and her adverse reaction to the glasswing technique is of a particular concern. Her blood tests show abnormal levels of RBC and WBC, as well as high blood pressure. Preliminary ECG readings indicate the possible diagnosis of atrial fibrillation, and has not recovered from malnutrition despite weeks of parenteral IV injections. Ms. Walpole exhibits clear symptoms of major depressive disorder and anxiety disorder, and has become a potential threat to herself and other patients in the clinic. I have presented these facts repeatedly to Ms. Walpole over the last week in an attempt to work with her to find a new method of treatment, but she has refused all alternatives and medication. She claims the glasswing technique works well, and she's refusing to stop administering it to herself. I have seen similar patterns in my past work with the technique, and I have assessed her as a 0.9 on the Rosen scale, which is at LD50 level. The best course of action is to continue administering basic care for Ms. Walpole and monitor her condition closely. So, Ms. Walpole is no longer being treated by Arthur Collingwood. Sucks. It sucks for Jocelyn. She's being a troublemaker. And that concludes Puzzle 2 in its entirety. Next time I'll pick up on Puzzle 3 and work my way into these little other fragments in Puzzle 4. Would this be considered part of Puzzle 2? Not too sure, but next video is coming soon.